Do I really need a lawyer after a car accident? The answer is not every time. If you've been in a minor fender bender with minimal injuries, you may be perfectly capable of handling that very small claim yourself. But if you've had injuries that are significant, the answer is often very different. And here's why. Insurance companies are businesses. Okay, people think that insurance companies' job is to pay claims. That's wrong. The insurance company makes money by collecting premiums and avoiding paying claims, or at least paying the least amount they can get away with. If you've talked to the other side's insurance adjuster and came away thinking that they were going to get you taken care of, okay, a phrase that they love, then you are sorely wrong. Their job is to collect as much evidence as possible that they can use against you, such as recorded statements, signed authorizations to get all of your medical records, and then they have their attorneys and their expert witnesses review all that evidence behind the scenes to decide how hard they're going to fight this claim. And when you don't have a lawyer, the adjusters are trained to string you along so that all of the evidence of what happened gets lost or destroyed. Okay. The skid marks on the road disappear, witnesses forget the details about what happened, security camera footage of nearby businesses gets recorded over. If your car is totaled, the black box that contains all the data of what happens gets sold for scrap with the rest of the car. If you don't have a lawyer preserving that evidence, your case gets worse and worse by the week. Just because the insurance adjuster for the other side says that they accept fault, okay, that does not mean that they can't change their mind later and dispute who was at fault in court. They do that all the time. What the adjuster told you is not admissible in court. Know this, when you're handling a claim on your own, you're negotiating with professionals who do this every single day, and they know exactly how to manipulate you to get the lowest possible settlement for them. Our office has handled hundreds of cases where people tried to negotiate their own settlement, only to later realize that they were getting strung along until the time of their statute of limitations almost runs out. Okay, do people really get better settlements with a lawyer? Although we lawyers cannot promise any specific results, the data show that the answer is absolutely. The Insurance Research Council, okay, an organization funded by the insurance industry itself, famously published a study of many thousands of injury claims, and it found that people who were represented by an attorney, on average, received settlements that were 3.5 times larger than people who handled their own claims. That means even though the lawyer usually takes 1/3 for doing all the work, the average client is still getting more than twice as much as they would have without a lawyer. And the lawyer does all the work, including collecting the evidence, getting your medical records, dealing with the lien holders, negotiating with the insurance companies, all of that. Often lawyers also find additional insurance money you didn't even realize was available. So why is having an experienced injury attorney so valuable? Because an experienced attorney knows how to gather the right evidence, find and work with expert witnesses, obtain the proper documentation to prove your injuries, and explain the need for future medical treatment, including costs, and negotiate with the insurance adjusters based on recent cases, jury verdicts, and legal standards. And if necessary, they can file a lawsuit. By the way, the mere fact that lawyers can file a lawsuit if the settlement offers are not sufficient alone is a huge game changer. If you're negotiating your claim on your own, the insurance adjusters can stay in the low range because they know that you will have to hire a lawyer before you can even take it to the next level of litigation. Another thing many people don't realize is that once you sign a settlement agreement, it's final. If your injuries get worse 6 months later, you can't go back and ask for more money. So you've got to understand the full value of your claim before accepting any offer. Don't fall for a quick settlement. Okay, let's get back to the question. Do you need a lawyer? Not in smaller cases, but in cases with significant injuries, we highly recommend getting an experienced personal injury attorney. Avoid law firms who claim they can do it all, family law, business law, etc. When they have many practice areas like that, they're usually not experts in any of them. The most skilled personal injury attorneys are those who dedicate their entire practice to helping injured people resolve those types of claims. If you have any other questions or you need representation, just give us a call.